Wanderer is much more efficient.
Keep an eye on her. Like, just make sure you change those poultices. And if the rash gets any worse, let me know.
That's Aaron, not the Wanderer, right?
No. If she doesn't make it through the night, I don't know what we're going to do. Sorry. It's been a harrowing day. First, let me welcome you back to the Wanderer's tent here. I'm sorry the mood here in the caravan is a little dour right now. Our caravan master is not faring too well. We were traveling with a group of entertainers the last few days. The kind who know stagecraft and, how do you say, bedcraft, I guess? And our caravan master, Sagrina, she chose to bring one of them into her tent last night, and when she woke up this morning, she had a rash. And we thought, standard run-of-the-mill, we've all experienced it, especially out here in the wastes, where hygiene can be difficult to maintain on the best of days, but this was no ordinary rash. It began to spread, and now it's all the way up through the nape of her neck, across her back, and down her arms. And those entertainers, the bastards, nowhere to be found. They took off in the night, so I know that she was targeted by some rival house. Brought in a bard. Never trust a bard. I'm absolutely positive that it must have been a bard of the tradition known as the touch, or the hand of the artist. They're poisoners who tend to specialize in contact poisons, the kind that only has to brush against your skin in order to do its nasty business. And that one, well, I have heard tale of certain contact poisons used by the courtesan ilk that transmits itself through intimate contact, we'll say. Something you should know about bards is when they choose to devote themselves to a particular type of poison. And here in Athos, there are 4 main categories or classes of poison. There are those that you ingest. You'll find them in your broy or your wine. Oftentimes they get sprinkled on your meat or in your fruits. And then there are those that get injected. They can be placed on the tip of a needle and poked into your skin, or they can be slathered on the end of a obsidian sword. And all it takes is just a breaking of the skin in contact with the blood for it to do its nasty work. Then there are, like I was saying, the hand of the artist. And actually, let me back up and just define these groups. They're those who tend to specialize in the ingested type. Well, they belong to a tradition known as the Cup of the Vintner. All of these euphemisms are so delightful, I must say. And then those who tend to prefer the injected type, well, they belong to the needle of the tailor. Those who focus on the tradition of contact poisons, like we experienced last night, they are the hand of the artist. And then there are the ones who I tend to find the most insidious of all, though it takes much more practice to create anything that can be considered truly deadly, would be the breath of the poet. And they practice and focus on poisons that can be inhaled. Just through a puff of smoke, they can transmit their deadly poisons. And you always have to be careful. Any entertainer you find, poets, artists, tailors, sculptors, performers, dancers, singers, always watch your back around these types, for you never know which one might be a bard ready to strike with their deadly, cowardly implements of death. And that's unfortunately where we are right now. We're watching our caravan master through the night. Hopefully she survives. We're applying poultices, but the rash is becoming deadlier and the cough is beginning to set in. And when that rattle begins to come, which we're waiting for, well, that tends to be the end of it. Hopefully she survives, but we'll see. I can tell you, it'll be a long time. It'll be quite a few sandstorms before I allow entertainers to travel along with us again. At any rate, sorry to burden you with our travails, but I believe we were telling the story of the clutch of Ma'ak and Desi and Char, Geza and Craucus, who had just emerged triumphantly, it seems, from the the subterranean silk operation of the Yuan-Ti, where they had been torturing these poor, hideous souls to extract Alcazar silk, king silk, the most sought-after silk in all of Athos, typically only sold to kings and Templars. They had infiltrated, managed to extract their precious cargo, that being Regness, who had stolen a certain figurine from Craucus that they were dead set on recovering. Thankfully, before he was able to be completely connected to the Brune Queen, seems as though he might still be redeemable, as well as Bab, who was a enslaved individual who was forced into labor to oversee the operations, who maintained a psychic connection with Ma'ak throughout and helped the group of you to infiltrate and escape. And when we left off, our Crimson Exarch of the Sun, Char, had lit the subterranean sulfurous spring where the Brood Queen and all of her macabre production was underway. Lit the entire chamber on fire. You were able to escape back into the light of day. It seems to be about midday. You were able to, they were able to extract some goods from the pitmaster's chamber, recover the figurine that they had lost, a few other goods, including a tin plate that Char had shoved down his waistband, a small pouch with some ceramic pieces and a couple silver in it, as well as some writing implements and a few clay tablets that seemed to catalog the mercantile pursuits of the Yuan-Ti, we'll say. So, as we come closer in and meet with our clutch, as they stand atop the mesa, just outside the influence of the Yuan-Ti, looking to the south where they can see the ringing mountains, a strong gale begins to whip up, and sand and grit begins to pelt the skin and eyes, ears and mouths and noses of our clutch, stinging them and irritating their skin. And as the clutch looks to the west, sorry, looks to the east, you can see that there is a dark cloud being picked up and lifted from the ground just on the horizon. A sandstorm, an Athasian sandstorm is coming. And within a few moments, the sandstorm has billowed to such a height and has started to move so steadily that you know that you only have minutes, perhaps, before it blots out the sun completely, which right now is bearing down on you with scorching intensity. Remember, you're only a few days away from high sun, the middle of the year, the longest day of the Athasian calendar, and its hottest time. So, you know you have to move, and you have to move quickly, and hopefully find some shelter, or at least maintain your bearings in a way that you can continue to move forward towards your ultimate goal of Tyr. So, what is everyone doing?
Go ahead.
After you.
I was just going to say, for clarity, Regness is unconscious and being carried by, I'm assuming, the half-giant?
Yes. Regness is in the arms of Crocus. He is delirious at present. Every once in a while, he says something that seems coherent and seems to understand where he is, but then falls back into his delirium. There is a black, pussy discharge coming from his neck that's oozing down Crocus's forearm.
And are we, like, is this moments after we just ended, or are we, like, narratively skipping past some
No, this is just moments. You have just you have climbed up out of the dark subterranean depths of the Yuan-Ti silk operation into the broken tower. From there, you climbed up onto the mesa, another 20 or 25 feet, and you have made your way perhaps 100 yards from that rim as you look out across the this kind of rocky, high mesa expanse where you can see rocky badlands spread out before you.
Okay, so as everyone's bolting, who's in the lead position? Who left first?
I'm wondering if where's the worm cave that we just left in relation to where we are and in relation to Tyr?
It is to your north, about 100 yards.
And we're going north. We need to get north to Tyr.
You're going southwest. So technically it's to your northwest, and then down, then there's, of course, the edge of the mesa that goes down about 25 feet to where the broken tower was.
And Tyr is to which direction?
To the southwest.
Oh, cuss.
So you're heading towards Tyr.
So we have the option of either returning to safety, which we know is the worm's cave, or actually tracking in the direction that we need to go to Tyr and just hoping that we find something.
Yeah.
I will actually say that in character to Ma'ak.
Also recall that of the group of you, Bap and Char have both been to Tyr.
Do we have Meta Concert on?
I don't think everybody is not on that, no.
Okay, well, it actually depends on how long it's been since we've gone in, but I don't mind paying another hour's worth at this point. So I'll keep it at the bare minimum, which is 3 people, but that's enough for me, Desi, and it's been BAP all this time. It probably still is. Yep. And I think once Ma'ak is sure, at least for the moment, that we are safe and not yet in the sand, he would turn to BAP first to examine him, to make sure that he is fit to run, but more just to greet him in person, which he might actually say his name aloud or his best hello, which is probably about as close as he can get to making the syllables to make your
And this would be a good chance for Mark, for you to describe BAP better. Who is the person that the group now has like a kind of a chance to actually look at and see?
Okay, I'm gonna have to remember this because it's been a while since we talked about it. But I know that I have something's messed up with one of my eyes. I know. Remember that? Like I think
you have. Well, you wear an eye patch, and
yes.
so.
So I'm wearing an eye patch. You know, I mean, I'm in slave's clothes. I'd say, you know, I'm in probably to you guys, I'd appear to be an ordinary human, one that's been kept in the dark for weeks, if not months, and so like I'm probably squinting in the sunlight. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm dirty. There's still wounds on me from the Wanti that attacked me while I was trying to save your friend. Am I missing anything, Aaron?
When you say slave,
as a character,
you're human. So like you're human. Like what kind of defining marks? Like other than that, like what do you look like? Like hair, kind of facial features, build, you know, that kind of stuff.
I mean, at this point, I would say, you know, I'm of average build. I'd say my facial features actually look like, although I'm covered in grime, I'd say like, oh, like I'm a handsome guy. But you know, my clothes look like they probably were once very nice. Like that I may have been a merchant in that kind of. But they are just, you know, they've just been soiled. Like I have not been able to change or wash these, and so it's covered with grime and blood and then some like unidentifiable substances from being in the pit. My hair is, you know, I've got, let's say, sort of brown hair that like you can see that it was like that sun bleached up to a point, but then it's now so long that like like cutting off at like over here, it would be the you know, just being in the dark, it hasn't had a chance to like lighten up again. You know, I've got a like unkempt beard, but you're like, oh, if he shaved it, yeah, he'd probably be a good looking guy. But it's, you know, and again, with my one eye, that's not in a patch. I am blinking. There's no real scars other than if you were to see like, you know, there's probably like across my back from where the Wanti slave master was had attacked me. But yeah, I'd say that's probably a pretty good description. I mean, you're free to ask, you know, be free to ask me something and I'll tell you. I would say like
we need to
my
come
hands.
To our campfire chats.
I would say my hands probably look, you know, kind of delicate, like not necessarily. I mean, I was doing very fine work in there, but I would probably say to Ma'ak and say first, thank you for my rescue. I hope your friend is okay. I tried to stall as much as I can, but I must ask you and your friend something, which is, in my haste to leave, I'm afraid that I left something important behind. It's not valuable per se, but just it's all I had of my old life, and the Wanti kept it. It's just a small pouch. Perhaps one of you found it while you were looting and burning that wretched place.
I took everything that I could carry, and I can carry many things, I say, as I produce all kinds of treasures from my pouches that I looted from the pit bosses, or the whatever, his well, I mean, I know the clay tablets were probably the most valuable thing I took. I took anything that wasn't basically bolted down. So, in theory, if it was anything looted from prisoners like you, I have it. I don't know, Aaron. I mean, I don't know what you want to
You
say.
You do not possess a pouch.
So I don't have his pouch that he's missing.
No, you go through all of your items, and there's no pouch that you found.
I'm disappointed, but I show you everything I have. You can take anything you want.
Char found a pouch.
Well, Char's not on Meta Concert, so
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true, but he doesn't have to be speaking.
I would assume that BAP is talking out openly.
okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I had assessed. That was my assumption as well. So, Char, did you find a pouch?
just to because Geza, Char, and Ma'ak were the three that went into the pitmaster's chambers.
But I didn't find the statue thing, the clay thing.
No,
I did.
I found a statue.
No, you found a pouch that had 20 ceramic pieces and 2 silver pieces in it, along with that tin plate.
So wait. So
Are those
Char?
the things he's missing?
Yes.
I mean, it's up to Char. I'm informing Mark of this, so it's up to Mark whether or not he wants to, whether Char is going to say anything.
Yeah. I'll tell everybody what I found.
Okay, so do you show it to him?
Yeah, I'll just open it and dump it in my hands if it's just the pieces, the porcelain pieces.
Ma'ak looks disappointed. There's nothing valuable in there.
That's the pouch, Bap. And as soon as he dumps the contents out, you rush to scoop them up and make sure that they get back into the pouch quickly.
I do that. Yes, I mean that's what I would have done.
And then I laugh and laugh and laugh as you pick up all these pieces.
Everybody else except for Bap, give me insight checks. Ooh, this is our first time. By the way, all who are watching, we have switched over to D&D Beyond. And tonight is our first official usage of this. And
I roll an 18.
Oh yeah, I get to see it. Oh nice. I like this.
Crocus got a 17. I don't know how.
11.
This is insight?
Yeah.
17.
17 as well.
Okay.
Here's a note. I should not have a +8.
To what?
My insight.
Oh my god.
I should
We have to fix that.
I should have a -3. All of these numbers are busted.
So, are your ability scores correct though?
My ability scores are right. I would love to have a +15 to acrobatics, but I don't.
Wow.
Okay, so
So I actually rolled a. I'll do the math.
okay.
A
Yay.
6. I rolled a 6 on my insight.
Yeah. Just FYI, I had to go in and basically create all of the Athasian classes, races, everything. So it's going to be a little crunchy until we get everything smoothed out. And I doubt that I'll ever be able to share any of this in D&D Beyond proper because it's definitely not, going to be WotC approved. Just because of what I had to do to kind of wrangle this and make it work. But we might, end up, releasing, these templates on our Patreon page when we get around to doing that. But anyway, so what was your roll? Adjusted 6? Okay,
6
makes more sense. Okay, so anyone who got a 16 or higher,
Yes.
you notice that BAP is particularly anxious about this pouch, and when he goes to scoop up the contents and put them back into the bag, it just there's just something about it that it just doesn't make sense, why he'd be so like oh my god, gotta get those coins back in that bag.
I imagine that I would make eye contact with Geza because I have a prejudice that because he has the head of an eagle that he sees everything. So I would sort of look at him like, are you noticing something strange and would you like to address this or shall I?
Geza catches your glance and then says, "You all need to figure out where we're going. I'm going to stabilize Chance." And I go to do medicine checks on him and shit.
I assist the best I can.
Oh, and we're in motion, so I'm actually I want to perch on Craucus while he carries Regness, and I will examine him atop Craucus as well.
That's so cute. I want to make an Instagram story out of it.
Do it. I pick him up. I place him on my shoulder.
And I'm just like, Craucus, bring him higher, please. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, Ma'ak will basically turn to Desi and say, it's a remnant of his past life. There are sacred objects to him for some reason. I think Bap deserves the benefit of the doubt. And what's more important is, while I think I can survive the sandstorm, I don't know how well you sleepers will do. We can backtrack to the sandworm's cave, but chances are the Yonti may find us there. There we can try our luck in the desert or in the Rocky Badlands, or we can, I don't know what else you want to do,
Craucus,
but I
give
do
me
think
a
we can move it.
perception check.
Oh, that is something I am also really pissed at. Okay, so
You surprised
me.
No, right. This is not. That's not right.
No, I got a 9.
9. Okay. Yeah. No. You're focused on Chance right now. Sorry.
Woof.
So I'm going to turn to Char and Bap and say, there is a sandstorm coming. We need shelter. If we go towards Tyr, do you know of any place where we may be safe to wait out the sandstorm?
Bap and Char, give me survival checks if you like.
This is my first time rolling on D&D Beyond, I think so.
20!
Whoa! Was that was an adjusted 20? I assume.
Yeah.
A dirty 20 is still a 20.
It was an
no, it's
18.
still, it's still good.
So how do I do this?
I would assume that you.
There's a
just click
skills.
somewhere.
There's a skills tab at the bottom. You go to abilities, save, senses, proficiencies, language.
Yeah,
and
just
skill.
click where the bonus number is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, click the number.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I clicked the. Oh, okay. Wait.
Just a single tap.
Yeah.
It seems to be. Here, wait.
You rolled a 22, it looks like.
I think that
how
was
do
me. I
you-
was doing a test.
Oh.
I was gonna say, how do you see each other's rolls? I don't see anything but my own.
You don't get little notices, like in the lower right
shoot.
corner?
Bap rolled, but does
Oh.
really bad.
Log it that
Okay.
I
So
rolled
Bap,
that.
you
I saw that
like
now.
you. Okay, you're. As it turns out, you're not actually that familiar with the surrounds of this region. Char, you have traveled this region a lot because you often go to Tyr for resupplying missions and all kinds of reasons. You're kind of. I mean, you were up until recently Kled's Exarch. So you know that this region, the area you're in, you shouldn't have to walk too far before you find canyons, hideouts, culverts. I mean, this whole area that you're going through is crisscrossed with all kinds of places, like nooks and crannies. So you have even though like you've never physically been right here, you just know this region well enough to know that if you keep moving forward, you should come across like a ravine, a gulch, anything, because it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous in this region because it's all rocky badlands.
Okay, so then I will take the lead and let's go and we will find something.
Boom. Okay.
Would you mind if I put you on Mark because he moves better than you?
I'm not sure if Ma'ak has the strength to carry people.
Or
Kraukus
the will
is
to carry another person.
Yeah.
Imagine
the Thrycreen aren't really keen on being beast of burdens.
I would carry an injured comrade, but I'd rig you up a travois sled and carry you that way.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Kraukus can carry more than his fair share. Yeah.
Are you sharing
Should
that
carry
with
the
me?
whole party.
He's got chance.
I think you want me scouting, not carrying people. But I'll do
So
what
should
you
we
like.
send you ahead? Perhaps we should send you ahead under Charles' direction. What do you think of this?
Okay, so Aaron, as far as the Thrycreen are concerned, when sandstorms happen, we basically just hunker down. We bury ourselves in the sand and we wait for it to pass, and then we're fine, right? No big deal. I don't think that works for these guys, right? So do I have any idea? Like, I basically need to find them a cave, right? Because like you're talking canyons and like ravines, but that's like the opposite of what we want to do. Then they'll get buried in the sand, right? So I need to find them.
You might end up with like a couple feet or a few feet of silt, like sifting down. But a good narrow canyon or a gulch or anything, a windbreak, anything that you can find that is in opposition to the direction of the wind should make all the difference.
Okay.
And so even like a deep ravine, you're just not going, because a sandstorm, like the wind gets billowed up into the sky. Out in the alluvial wastes is where you really have to worry, but you're not there. You're in rocky badlands.
Okay.
So it's not going to be nearly as bad as if you were back in the alluvial waste north of Cled.
So Char can just point us in the direction of a good-ish zone, right?
What if we meta concert me? What if we bump somebody else since BAP isn't helpful in this?
Oh, I can switch it at will. I just only have a minimum of two others besides
all
myself.
I need to know is right now is like who's scouting and what's the marching order, and are you off to seek shelter?
Yeah.
Mark will scout, and then we will follow in order of speed.
Okay. So I'm going to put Mock up here. And in terms of speed,
Who is the slowest?
The problem is as soon as the wind starts to pick up, Geza becomes earthbound. And Kraukus, you're definitely faster than the rest of the group because of your stride.
Okay, I pick up
and Char is going to be the slowest because he's a dwarf.
I pick up Char and I pick up Gaza.
I'm already on your shoulder.
Oh. Well, then I guess I'm carrying 3.
Geza want a cracker?
Yeah, right?
I'm
if you
picturing
make
Andre the
any more
Giant.
jokes like that, I will put you down.
Well, I'm carrying 3 people, and he's only got himself.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just kind of stack Geza and Char under Kraukus right now, and then Desi, you can be behind. Well, wait, but who's carrying Regness?
So
because Kraukus can't carry more than 2 people.
Well, he is holding Regness over his right shoulder. I am perched on his other shoulder, attending to Regness.
Whatever happened to my bird that I was riding?
Oh, they're long gone at this point. I mean, they're back down at the bottom of the canyon, and who fucking knows what happened to them at this point.
Because I know I thought about eating it.
No, we left them.
I thought a lot about eating it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be D&D if you didn't lose your mount.
So if he's holding
real
Regness
quick,
and
give me
I'm
an acrobatics
perched
check.
on him.
Geza needs to give me an acrobatics check as the wind begins to whip up, because already the winds are at 30 miles an hour. Easy.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong thing. Sorry. got all the programs
you
open.
in fantasy grounds.
I am. Is it not rolling over here? What the hell?
Should be.
There we go.
Let's click on that. Let's click on the plus.
Big
There you
9.
go. Big 9. Okay, no, you cannot maintain your grip on Crocus's shoulder. You're going to have to jump down onto the ground.
Well, that probably explains why I rolled a 9 for medicine check while I was up there. So.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's your marching orders. You're on the ground. Crocus right now is carrying Regness and Char.
Mm-hmm.
And off you start to go. Are you guys running? Are you walking?
Run.
How are you moving forward? Just like, like how expeditious are you trying to be?
Very.
Fully expeditious.
I mean,
Okay,
how
so
much
you guys
time
are
do we
throwing
have
caution to
before
the wind
this
and
storm
moving
hits
forward.
us?
Yeah. Okay, so Mark, you charge off ahead of the group. And actually, it doesn't take too long. If you had just been a few feet higher, you probably would have noticed it, which caused you to look back over your shoulder towards Crocus, who probably is just tall enough to have seen the dark ribbon running across this high plain, about 150, 200 yards in front of you. And as you approach it, you realize that it is just a big fucking gouge in the ground, in the earth. And when you get to the edge of it, you can see that it's about 10 feet across, so you could easily jump across. Actually, all of you could probably easily jump across, but you look down and you can see that it is a narrow, winding canyon that has probably been carved and sculpted out over thousands of years of wind blowing and howling through it, creating this kind of scalloped snake of a ravine, and it's about 50 feet deep. Should not be too difficult to climb down for you, at least. You could probably even jump down there, theoretically.
Okay, well, before I do that, am I struck by any ancestral memories about either this place, what it might be, what it might hide, or basically if it is kind of what I'm suspecting is basically a dry riverbed. Maybe there are even overhangs of rock where we could shelter beneath and avoid the sand that way. So that's kind of what Ma'ak is now peering like east and west up and down the canyon to see if he can get a sense of before he jumps down into it. Unless he has to, in which case he might do that.
Give me a check on that.
Perception or what?
Yeah, like, what were we saying for your ancestral memory? Like,
ancestral memory was, okay, so it was if I fail an intelligence-based skill, I can spend a PSP point to access ancestral memory and basically get to re-roll again with advantage. The idea being, if I don't know, maybe my ancestors know, right?
Gotcha.
So I could make a nature roll, maybe,
and we could say then, like, why don't we just make this like a little house rule right on the spot? If you roll a nat 20, then you unlock an ancestral memory that is directly related to the exact thing that you're doing. So that could possibly mean that you have actually been here before, or you have experienced something exactly like this.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So nature roll, you think, or what?
Yeah, so give me I'm thinking either survival or nature.
Well, I am skilled at both, but I am better at nature. So I'll make
Give me a nature check.
Okay, cool. Ooh, nice. And I roll a modified 25.
Okay. So ancestrally, you certainly have experienced places like this before. You can't really pinpoint exactly how these kind of places would have been formed, but you do know that they tend to they're great places to hide, and they're so narrow that if you get down to the bottom of them, a sandstorm is going to blow across the top. Of course, sediment will filter down, but there's really no true danger in a place like this that you're going to get buried.
All right,
there.
terrific. Then Mark is very pleased at his discovery, and he will try to scout out what he thinks is the best location. However, he knows that if it's a good spot, other creatures might know it's a good spot too, and so he is now approaching stealthily as he searches, with Chachkachas and Githka at the ready, just in case. Okay.
Now, are you looking for a way down, or are you just going to go right down?
I think I would probably, is the idea that even if I don't find a great spot, it's still better to be down in the canyon when the storm hits, no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to probably find what I think is the safest descent for the party.
Okay, so give me a investigation check.
Sure thing. Ooh, and that is a 15.
15, okay. You can find a decent spot to at least climb or use rope to aid your descent.
Okay. Ma'ak will, through metaconcert, direct the rest of his companions to his location, and so that they can begin their descent.
Okay, so the rest of you can catch up, and you can now see this sort of snaking canyon, and let's do some Photoshop drawing. Bear with me because my stylus has died on me, and I'm waiting for a new one to arrive from the other side of the world. So I have to do this on a just a little finger tablet. Okay, so as you approach the rim of the canyon, I should turn snap off. Give me just a second. Okay. You approach the rim, and it really is like, at its widest, it's going to be like roughly about 15 feet across. But at its narrowest, it's about 10 feet, and it kind of winds. Now, as you look down, as you stand here at the precipice and you look down into the depths, you can see that it goes down, but the slope here actually goes away from you. So it doesn't go straight down. From the rim, it slopes out at maybe about a 30-degree angle away from you, and then it curves back in on itself. So you can't actually see the bottom right here. But based on what Mark has told you, that from where he first encountered this, it looked like it was about 50 feet deep. You didn't notice that it got any deeper as you went along, so you're assuming that this 30-degree slope or whatever descends at least halfway, probably more, maybe about 35 feet. So at the most, there might be a 15-foot, 10-foot drop at the end. But it narrows, so at the bottom you might just have to brace yourselves against the sides and shimmy down.
How tall is Ma'ak when he's like on his back legs?
7 feet, give or take.
Yeah, well, I naturally stand at 7 feet, but I could raise my arms probably to almost 10, right?
Well, so, and you can also lift yourself up, because typically your normal stance, your legs are kind of at 90-degree angles, so you can lift yourself up. You could theoretically extend and reach up 10, 12 feet.
Sure.
Easy.
So maybe with the exception of Crocus, he could, stunt us down. That's a little cheerleader talk for you all. Stunt us.
Yes, we will stunt everyone as we go to the crevasse. I will stunt you in the hole.
If we all jump, I can cast Featherfall on 5 of us.
No, I will stunt everyone.
Look, we have 3 different options. Let's do it.
I will stunt the dwarf first.
Well, be cautious.
There stunt him.
There may be danger beneath.
What do I roll to stunt?
What the fuck are you trying to do?
I need a description of what is the action of stunting. Describe what happened.
I stunt the dwarf in a hole. What's not clear about that?
I need Desi to explain what happens in this occurrence.
Is that where you stand on someone's hands and then they lower you down? Is that what
Yes,
happens?
this is in when cheerleading, when like men will like.
I love the way that
catch
Crowcus
them.
is talking, but Joe needs to tell me what Crowcus is doing.
All I have to say is, bring it on.
So we have three different
He's
ways
best.
to get down, which is that we have two really, really big people who, if there's a gap of about 10 feet, will probably be able to make it in that gap, and that's Ma'ak and Crowcus. So if they get down and the rest of us can crawl down, then Crowcus and Ma'ak can raise up and help us down, or alternately, Geza can...
As you stand here talking, figuring out what you're going to do,
I
the
think we all
dust
got
starts
it,
to
Aaron.
hit
I think
you.
we're the only ones
Well,
who
but
do.
what I'm saying is it is time for expediency, because the sand is starting to fucking billow across this high mesa plain, and it's hitting you even harder. And you only have a few moments before. At this point, the winds are blowing at probably about 50 miles an hour. And the sun is already getting obscured. It's just becoming a dim disk in the sky.
I couldn't even stay balanced on Crowcus's shoulders. I don't want to climb rocks. I'm going to cast Featherfall on myself. If anyone else would like to do it the easy way, join me.
As a caster magic on many, I can get down on my own, but cast it on the others, especially the injured
going
ones.
to stunt the dwarf onto Ma'ak. And so I roll an athletics. Okay. That's not true.
I don't know what this means. I don't know what's going to happen.
Ma'ak in the hole.
Yeah, I want you to describe what you're actually physically
If
doing.
you guys paid any attention, Crowcus thought he understood what stunting was. And in his mind, that means he gently tosses at a person in the hole with a person. He's very good at hitting people with people. And so
That's a cannonball special.
he is going to cannonball special gently the dwarf at the bug. And so I rolled a 13.
I would like to feather fall, thank you.
13
Wait,
plus.
Wait! You're gonna throw Cha'ar down in the hole at Ma'ak? Is that what you're talking about?
Toss.
Dwarf
It's
tossing
not
is
overhand.
offensive.
It's underhand. Okay. I'm going for guidance, not power. And so for this, I rolled a 13.
Do I have any say in being thrown by this monster?
You could complain. Plus, so I got a 20. I got a 23.
A 23.
A
Okay,
23.
well, I mean,
That's
off
go.
Char goes into the hole. Is if
I'm gonna take out the silver tray I have and ride it down them like I'm surfing on stairs.
Yeah.
How many people can you affect with Featherfall, Joe?
Up to 5.
Up to 5. So you can cast it, and you see
The terror in my eyes.
the terror in your eyes as Crowcus tosses him down the shaft. And you can, off Char goes down the hole, and it's unlikely that Ma'ak can catch him without being horribly maimed.
As I see that his aim is true, I do worry about the impact speed, so I do cast Featherfall
You
on
worry
all of
about the
us.
impact speed.
Yeah.
I'm already half a person.
I cast
Am I already
Feather-
down there? I thought I was on the top. I'm down.
Well,
in the
you haven't
canyon
climbed. Okay, so basically, I guess the idea is that they're waiting for you to climb down first.
Crowcus would
So
not
once you have
throw
climbed
him
down,
if you weren't down there.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my trigger was waiting for you in the hole to throw a dwarf at you. Gently toss, not throw.
And
you guys
rule
need to
of
get
cool,
over yourselves.
rule of cool. I like the absurdity of this scene, and I like the idea that Geza casts Featherfall at the last moment to catch him, because he knows that this is going to go horribly fucking wrong.
Okay,
if he doesn't.
So yeah, we will be fine feather falling, and Crocus does his thing, and then I do cast feather fall anyway, and then I'm like, okay, now you have to jump with your feather fall to Crocus. Let's go. And
is it not like it's something I could just climb down?
Feel free, but if you slip, you're gonna feather fall for the next minute. So that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
So who do you actually cast it on?
On everyone who isn't you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So Crocus or Mock is already down.
I start tossing everyone willy-nilly. I grab back.
I would like
Here
a
you go
moment
in the hole.
apologetically.
And
for
the record,
goes.
for the record, I did not cast it on Regness because Crocus is carrying Regness, and Regness is a lump.
Yes.
Okay.
And so my slogan is, here you go in the hole, and come here, little poop squeak.
Oh, man.
And then I
Okay.
toss
Well,
them in the hole.
one way or the other, you all end up down in the bottom of the ravine. And as you do, you lightly begin to float down, and as you kind of touch the side of the canyon, you just kind of softly slide down about 30 feet or 35 feet or so, and then the canyon turns and curves back in on itself, and then you look below and you can see just a level ground below you. Well, okay, actually no, not a level ground. As the canyon sort of turns back in on itself, and you can now see the bottom of this canyon, you can see that the entire bottom of this canyon from either direction is completely jam fucking packed with detritus. And by detritus, I mean broken wagons, crates. There are shattered pots, amphoras. There's like howdahs, which are like the sort of like the structures that you build on the back of like giant lizards, like Einixes and mechalots to like carry cargo. And it's just littered with bones too, of like all kinds of creatures. You see Erdlu bones, Crodlu bones, Einix bones, Einixes being like kind of like this kind of mid-level lizard used by caravans. Like, and then there are like humanoid bones down here of like all kinds of species. And it's just crammed in here.
Who's the first one down? Is it me?
Well, you're the first. You're the first one to see it. Not necessarily the first one down, but you definitely you crawl all the way down to where the cavern, like kind of, or the canyon turns back on itself and opens up into the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would be the first one to see it.
Right.
You weren't really paying too much of attention to what was in the bottom until everyone started to feather fall down. And then you actually look down and you're like, oh, Jesus.
All right. Well, I imagine Mock's first reaction is he actually gives off the warning pheromone and then realizes that nobody understands what that means. So then would you use metaconstruct to say, be warned, predators are about, and he will crouch low and start to look for them. What are the freshest kills? Can I determine that?
Like here, everything looks like it's probably been dead for several months or more. All of the corpses are either stripped down to bones and have been pretty much just kind of bleached by the heat, or you see like carcasses laying there with the skin like all leathery and taut. Like you can see a dead Erdlu lying there.
It's not predators, it's bandits.
Or it's just starvation.
Bap,
or the wind is blowing
give
these
me
things down.
Bap needs to give me a little insight check right now.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Could not a sandstorm blow these objects down?
So I rolled a 15.
15. That's enough. As you look down, you suddenly realize, oh shit. This is where the Yanti put all of their victims. Like, they have been filling this canyon up for months or even longer with, the plundered and broken remnants of the caravans and the travelers they kidnap and kill.
I thought that's what the switchback was. They hauled these
switchback?
guys all the way out here?
Well,
or are we really not that far?
You're not that far. You're only a few hundred yards. And Bap, you realize that this canyon probably leads directly back into the canyon complex that leads into the worm caves.
I share that with the rest of the party. It's coming back to me now. I don't think this is such a good place for us.
It
I don't
will
think
be
we have
fine
the
for
time.
I mean, you realize, you do realize that, like, obviously no one has been in this particular area for quite a while. There are no fresh dead. Everything here looks like it's been here for like months at least. So it's just it's just their garbage dump. Like, they've been packing this thing filled with shit for God knows how long they've been doing their silk operation out here.
Bap, do they just throw it down from the top, or is there an access point down below here?
Do I know
All
that?
you know is that all that Bap would know is that there's an entire complex. Like, there's an entire complex, like a labyrinthine complex of these canyons that run through the mesa from where the worm cavern is, and they go off in all directions, and you've only seen just a handful of them, and this is a place that you've never been.
Yeah, I relay that to everyone. Okay,
All we
I
have
just
to
don't
do-
know.
All we have to do here is wait out the sandstorm. We don't have to live here.
Yes, it's
No,
fine.
we'll be gone as soon as the storm passes. But let's get in
Everybody
shelter.
give me investigation checks real quick.
Nice, 25.
21.
I got 2.
10. So,
Ooh, 23.
2.
Most of you realize that there might actually be some decent plunder to be had amongst all of this refuse. Because obviously the Yanti do not consider a lot of this valuable, but there is a lot of fabric down here. I mean, none of it, none of it of any real value outside of shelter from the Athasian desert and sun and wind. So there's a lot of cloth, because at this point, most of you really are not outfitted to travel for extensive times through the desert after everything that you've been through at this point. There are also sacks of like dry goods that have been thrown out here, and they're like broken open, spilling. A lot of it has kind of desiccated to the point of like it being like stones, but you are able to kind of gather together, I don't know, probably a couple pounds worth of edible grains that you could either eat raw or try to make some kind of pottage out of in a pinch. There's lots of wood down here. There's wagon wheels and caravan parts and like all kinds of stuff that you could probably utilize to your advantage from here to tier. It just depends on your imagination, but imagine like basically what you get a sense of looking at this place is that the Yuan-Ti have been raiding caravans for months or longer, and their only concern is for sentient humanoid bodies that they can put into the brood queen's chamber, and everything else means nothing to them. And Bap, it makes sense to you because you know that the Yuan-Ti are meat eaters, and things like grain, fruits, vegetables, all of that stuff means it is garbage to them, and so they throw it away.
Let's divide up the labor. Like the things that we need to have done are we need to gather resources that we find here. We need to look after chance. We need to navigate our best option to tier. And first off, is there any other things that we need to prioritize other than these three things?
None that I'm aware of.
So then let's divide the labor. And whoever is best at healing will look after chance. Whoever is best at discerning resources will scavenge. And whoever is best at navigation will help us map a way to tier. So I imagine that is Char helping us map a way to tier. That is Geza looking after chance. And who is best investigation at gathering resources, do you think?
Not me.
I am not. No.
I mean, like
Mark is probably finding all kinds of valuable things amongst this stuff that none of you would think were valuable at all.
So even while I'm like,
because Mark is proficient in a particular region when it comes to survival. As a Thrycreen, do you remember what that region is?
Sandy Wastes.
Sandy
or
Wastes.
Mark.
Okay, yeah. So no, this is Rocky Badlands. So yeah. Okay.
Although you said I got apparently.
No, I mean
D&D Beyond says I get a bonus one. I'd take Rocky Badlands if I got a bonus one.
Oh. Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. Or
And
maybe
we'll
this is where I
use
learn
your
it or whatever.
Yeah, and we'll use your that survival check that you made earlier.
Okay, that's
that
cool.
connects you ancestrally to this kind of place.
Okay, cool. So what does Ma'ak find valuable amongst this stuff? Is there like food? Is there weapons? Is there?
You start to notice that there is a species of cactus that it's a very small species of cactus that is growing everywhere. Like the rest of you don't really notice it, and it's a cactus that isn't particularly like it doesn't have a lot of needle structure on it. It's more like kind of a fuzzy thing. It's more of like an irritant, like kind of a stinging nettle.
Okay.
Kind of idea. And they're really small. They're like if anybody here is familiar with prickly pear cactus, the fruit of a prickly pear, like just that little bulb. They're small bulbs about 1 inch in diameter, and they grow in tiny cracks in the sides of these ravines where there's the highest likelihood of any kind of moisture trickling down through them. And so as you start to look around, you notice these little cactus bulbs growing everywhere. Now the rest of you ignore them because cactus, don't touch that. Cacti hurt. And but you know that they're a great source of not only moisture but sustenance.
Yeah, right. They're basically fruits like that are, I mean, basically little water sacks, right?
Yeah.
So Ma'ak will gleefully start picking some choice ones out of the nearest crevice,
and we will call it. I will call it. So this is time for note taking. Gorge fruit.
All right, because it's in a gorge, but also because it's gorge on it.
And it engorges itself on the random water that trickles down through.
Okay,
the ravines.
Perfect. Then I will look for the most engorged gorge fruit.
And you can gather up basically what would equate to a gallon's worth of water.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I will happily share that with the clutch, giving Desi the choicest fruit first.
Yeah. And he would
show you with his tchotchke. He'd basically shave off the nettles very quickly and leaving just basically like, I don't know, is the flesh like a pear or is it more like watermelon? Like what's
no, it's so the flesh itself is sort of a very intense purple. And then it has like little like kind of pimples all over it where the stinging nettles grow. You can shave that off easily. And for thrycreen, they don't even affect you because they can't penetrate your chitin. So like you can just scrape that off easily, and then you either cut or split it open, and on the inside is a little like kind of perimeter of like fleshy sweet goodness. And in the center are hard seeds that you extract.
Okay, cool. Well, Ma'ak will probably start breaking one down very quickly, removing the seeds and laying the nettles aside. You know, he'll try, get it in like 1 or 2 perfect peels,
Yeah.
And then presenting those to the different members of the clutch.
Yeah. And at this point, like everybody has managed to kind of maintain their water intake. Right now, none of you have water left on you. So it's bittersweet because when you were in the cavern of the Brood Queen, you saw that waterfall coming down and you thought for certain you're going to be able to get back there. And even as sulfurous and gnarly as that water smelled and probably tasted, you know that it was going to be just life-giving and you had to abandon it completely without taking an ounce. So the rest of the group, and you said Ma'ak was not going to partake of the liquid, or will Ma'ak
he
take?
takes the second best fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but just keep this in mind that the
out.
Group of you have to divide a gallon of water between you, so that
I guess that's true. Ma'ak only needs a little swallow, right? So he'd only take a little bit, and then the rest will go.
I have decided that in Athos, a gallon, because a gallon is like 9 point something pints, which doesn't American measures, like empirical measures, whatever. So in Athos, a gallon is 10 pints, even Steven. So between the group of you, you can get 10 pints of water out of the fruit that Ma'ak is able to gather. So you might want to notate that because that's going to go towards your allotment for the day, which means that Ma'ak only needs a pint to get his sustenance for the entire week. Craucus needs 4 gallons for the day. The rest of you need an entire gallon for the day. So decide how you want to divvy 10 pints of water up.
How thirsty am I?
Well, if you could, you would eat all of these raw right now and leave nothing for anyone else. Geza, you know this. Like, you know that this is something that Craucus does. Like, he can't help himself.
It's true. I'm having trouble focusing with Geza on anything other than dealing with Regness.
I start chowing
as
down.
we discuss every other thing, I feel like that's happening simultaneously. So maybe I can circle back to this, but really all Geza wants to do is stabilize Regness.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about
you don't even realize
or any of that shit.
Okay.
What if we just divide it 1 pint per person, give Craucus 2, and maintain one for whoever is in danger fastest, or divide the 1 pint between the 7 of us, because in my calculations I also added Regness as needing water. Or actually, we should probably give Regness that layover, because in his healing he's going to need extra hydration.
Actually, is Regness hydrated, given that he was sort of submerged in that pool not, half an hour ago?
Who
not
fucking
sure if
knows?
he drank that stuff or not, but
He may not recover. We don't know.
Yeah, so what state is Regness?
That's really hard. You'd have to give me a medicine check on that.
On his hydration level?
Yeah.
I will come up to you and say, Geza, how is he doing for moisture?
Let's see how my medicine check does.
I start chowing
18.
down on those cactus pods.
2. You only have 2?
I grab. Okay, so I eat those 2 immediately, and then I start reaching for more.
No. I will say to Ma'ak, you watch him. You watch him. He cannot have a sword.
Ma'ak raises his Githka and his Chachkachas, and he will move his metaconcert to Kraukus. Say, Kraukus, this is not Bokchak. You must learn your place in the clutch. You have received your share. You get no more.
But I am still thirsty.
So are we all.
But I need more than you.
That's why you got 2.
But I am more than 2 of you.
Then have my share.
I take it.
Okay.
I'll find water somewhere else.
Okay. I'm gonna give Mark bonus XP for that.
So how's my 18 medicine check on the hydration level?
Regness is not hydrated. In fact, you can see his lips have already started to crack open, and his skin is incredibly shriveled.
So
from
I
being in
was
water for so long.
We were rocking around so much out there on Kraukus's shoulders, I was not able to stabilize or really treat him in any way. Can I attempt that again here?
Yeah, go ahead. And I'll give you advantage on that now that you kind of know his condition better.
Okay, do I just roll it twice?
Yeah.
So 16 or 16 again.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you're able to... the wound on the back of his neck is what you're trying to focus on. And you're able to kind of dig through the medicinal herbs that you have, work up a poultice, and put it on his neck. And you're able to kind of calm him. Basically you have some pain-killing herbs and some numbing herbs, and some other things that stop the oozing, start to coagulate the wound, and calm the nerves. And Regness seems to start to relax. He's been having, as you attend to him, you can tell that he's having these sort of fits of delirium, and he starts to breathe more calmly.
Do I feel like cure wounds would revive him, or just make his body nicer?
Perhaps. I mean, perhaps that could make all the difference. At least get him to the point where he's cognizant of his surroundings, and able to operate on his own cognizant a little bit.
Okay, so I will cast that.
Any levels of exhaustion are not going to be affected by that, which you assume that like his exhaustion is extreme right now.
Sure. I'm just trying to figure out how to fucking cast a spell in this.
So you should be able to just go under your...
It doesn't seem to be under actions. Maybe if I go to spells, just click it there.
Yeah, there's a spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll click the 1d8 plus 5, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if it shows me.
So
it doesn't just... Oh,
8 healing from the cure wounds.
Yeah. I can put that in. And as you do so, Regness opens his eyes clearly, and you can see like he just kind of like comes back to himself, and he looks up and he goes, Geza.
Yes, Regness, you fool. Can you eat this cactus?
I think so.
Well, if you can't, I'll conjure some water for you, but I'd rather you eat this cactus.
He takes it, and as soon as it touches his mouth, he just sucks it down. Like he even swallows the seeds whole. Doesn't even bother trying to spit those out. And you can see, like, you know, just this like kind of purple liquid kind of trickles out his side of his mouth, and he just goes, "Oh God, thank you. What happened?"
Well, you're free again due to our intervention, but you're a fool, and you must know that. I don't know how the others will travel with you at this point, but it's important to me that you're back to yourself and you can make your own choices again. Hopefully you'll make better ones this time.
Been punished enough. I don't need no lectures. I know what I did.
Do you know what we did to save your life?
I'm certain at the moment.
Well, it was a lot, so you're welcome. Think on your sins, and I'm sure we'll be talking more of this.
Okay. Why don't we take a quick bio break? 5 minutes. Sound good?
Yeah.
Ready? Back? Okay, so just one thing I wanted to clarify real quick about the gorge fruit is like it's everywhere, but the fruit that's really only edible is a certain size. So the majority of the gorge fruit is too small for you to be able to do anything with, which is why you see it everywhere now, but it took Ma'ak, you know, a little while to gather up enough just to make a gallon's worth of water from the ones that are engorged. So everything else, even though you see them everywhere, I mean, they're covering every single little crack and crevice like barnacles.
Okay,
basically.
well, I mean, I know we're gonna try to loot this place for valuables, but in theory, is it any... Well, okay, you said there was an overhang, so in theory it is easier for us to weather the storm where we're at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But in theory, you said one end of this canyon runs back to where the Yanti complex is. In theory, if we go the other way, we might be able to gather more fruit along the way until we decide to abandon the canyon because it's not going in the direction we're going anymore.
Yep. You have to climb through, you have to make your way through all of this detritus, which is basically packing the entire thing wall to wall. So it's definitely difficult terrain to move through. But
well,
you can certainly do that.
I can clear it just by smashing it and kicking through it.
That's true.
I mean, theoretically, but you break it and it'll kind of crumble back into place behind you. So
maybe he can move some of the larger obstacles of, you know, the overturned howdahs and the you know
hold
half
things
damaged
out of the
wagon, stuff like that.
way, and
Yeah, just trying to ease our passage.
And we found, before we left their dungeon or whatever, we found the statue that Regness stole, but also the one that he was given, right? Like his primers?
Yes.
Okay. So before Geza walks away to see what the rest of the group is doing, he's going to throw down the primers to him and say, "This is still yours."
He looks and says, Why are you giving it back to me? I betrayed you.
Sure. But Iban wanted you to have them, and I think you can still do good with them as long as you can stay out of your own way and stay alive. I'm a man of... I'm a bird of principle. And what's important is spreading freedom to the people of Athos and spreading knowledge.
He looks thoroughly perplexed at you, and he says, "You're still planning on going to Tyr, right?"
Of course. We have unfinished business.
Well, Geza, good luck. You're gonna need it.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but something happened.
What happened?
Oh, god damn it. Everything got
Wiggity what?
glubbed up and needs to be rearranged.
Oh, whoops.
That's fine.
Wait, what's happening? Things look fine to me.
The Twitch locations
feed.
are all.
I think when
Twitch got switched.
Rob's video went
Oh,
down.
good lord.
Yeah,
Oh
I
no!
got it, I
What
got it.
Walked
happened?
around. It's
We're
all
all
good.
over the place. Yeah.
I would be very curious to know of Regness why he stole these things and by whose employ did he steal these things?
Are you asking him that?
I will.
So what do you like? What do you ask him? Like, what do you
I
say to
will
him?
say to him, "Why did you steal these things? Were you under someone's influence? And if so, who?"
He says, because, listen, like, I don't, I'm really tired right now, and I'm in pain. I don't need to be lectured at. I stole them because they were valuable, and I figured it would up my chances if I found the free. Like, what else do you want from me?
I come up and I'm about to offer condolences, but then I grab his hand in mine, which is basically between two of my fingers, and then
Regness?
and then I break two of his fingers. What is the expression? Sticky fingers?
Oh. Well, hold on. You need to give me a grapple versus his. So it's going to be an athletics.
Okay.
Or acrobatics versus his acrobatics.
Okay, not a 35, but it is a. Okay, I beat it. I don't even need to add anything. I got a 25.
God. Regness yelps, like in pain, screams out, and he yells to the group, "Get your fucking beasts away from me! Is this what you saved me for, to torture me? Just put me out of my misery if this is what you're gonna do. Or let me die in the desert alone." And he
raises his gift
shoves his finger under his armpit.
He looks to Desi.
I am going to take the second bit of cactus that I reserved to give to Regness if he needed it, and I am going to give it to Ma'ak. And then I am going to turn to I'm going to turn to Cha'ar and Bap who I consider our navigation team, and ask them what they have come up with.
Yes, we need to move on. You are correct, Daisy. As always.
I mean, anybody else going to respond to what Marcus just said?
Ow, Bap, I am talking to you. How are we doing on navigation?
I concur.
Wait, where is Mark? I'm not seeing him on the Zoom.
His video's gone. But he's here.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry, it's the phone, and then it just seems to cut out. Goes into sleep mode. I think we should move. I think we should move on as well.
I break his fingers, and we're like, yeah, we need to keep going. Yeah.
Wait, my fingers got broke. Wait.
No. Okay. So
Crocus broke Regness's fingers
because he stole something.
He stole his.
My concern for Regness is clearly evident.
Yeah, my father figure / like person who freed me from slavery told me that this was the last thing he gave me before he died, and he says it was my responsibility to take it to Tyr. And this piece of shit this idiot decided to take it. What am I like? He got off light, as far as I'm concerned, and he only got off light because Desi would not deign to beating him to a pulp and leaving him in the desert to die. Desi has more grace.
Yeah.
Geza said, "Crocus, that's enough," and then he looks at Regness and he shrugs like.
Regness says, when you shrug at him, he says, "So you're just as bad as I am. You act like you're all high and mighty. You're all altruistic. You're just the same as all the rest of them.
You're free to your opinion, and he's free to get revenge for your theft. That's what I think."
You
and
leave
also,
me now with a broken hand to make my way through the desert.
A broken hand? No, it was 2 fingers. A baby.
And also, you did greatly offend a half giant. How did you think this would go? I think you're gonna be fine.
Why are we still talking about this? Let us go. This is taking forever.
Yeah, Geza can tend to him if he wants to. I'm not going to delegate any orders, but I am mostly concerned with our well-being after the sandstorm passes, and I am very interested in Chao and Bap's impressions of where we are, where we should go, and how poor our situation is. Oh, we just lost Chao. Bap! Bap, first off, I would like to say I am sorry about the state of your rescuers, but this is really how it is. It doesn't get much better, so this is what you are saddled with.
Crocus comes to stand before Bap and stare down at him and looks you in the eyes and,
I'm sorry about your bird. I didn't know. I thought it was
Thank you for saying that. As far as the group goes, I suppose, as they say in Tyr, beggars can't be choosers, or slaves especially.
Geza told me another saying, friends are not food, and your bird was a friend, so...
This is true, but let's speak no more of this.
Okay.
So what's your plan with real quick? What's your plan with Regness? Because he still can't walk on his own.
Oh, I pick him up. I carry him.
When you approach him, he loses his shit. Screams at you, "Get the fuck away from me!"
I think it might be best if we leave the treatment of Regness to Geza, and then perhaps Crocus and you help me find a way out. It doesn't matter, just come away from him.
Okay, I will look for a way out with you. Do you want me to pick you up?
No, merci.
Merci.
So as long while Gaza is tending to Regness, Bap, are you familiar with this ravine?
Am I?
Oh, I mean, you haven't been back here. You just know that you're just certain that this connects back to the Yanti caverns.
I have not been here, but I know our pursuers can follow us through here, or at least have access to this point, if any survive.
So we need to travel south, and only Cha'ar knows where that may lead us. Is this correct?
Yeah. At this point, and also keep in mind, at this point, the dust storm has thoroughly enveloped the top of the canyon, in the mesa. And dust is filtering down and silting down, causing a dense haze throughout the entire canyon. And you all have to cover your mouths in order to breathe, well, without breathing in the dust. It's getting into your eyes, it's getting into your hair. It's horrible.
Is there enough detritus around us for us to make a what you call
A chateau?
I wish. No.
Did you say chateau?
I said shelter, but it would be a lot better if I did say chateau.
I heard
But
chateau.
I'm honest. I'm honest and stupid. So
And optimistic, though. I like that. But Gurney, not Gurney, but on battlefield you take a cloth, you wrap it around two posts. I want something to put Regness on that is so Crocus does not have to carry him, and we can strap him to Ma'ak, because I think Regness will have panic attack if we put him on Crocus.
A sled. We just need a sled to drag. That's fine.
A travois sled is what you're talking about.
What is it called? The medics in World War II, when they put the injured people on the
Stretcher.
What is a
stretcher.
World War
Okay,
II?
fine.
That's a stretcher. Yeah.
There's a stretcher and there's a travois sled. Those are the two options here.
A stretcher is held by 2 to 4 people. A travois sled is carried by 1 to 2 people and dragged. Yeah. So
behind.
Sled then, a travois sled. Can we make one of these for Regness? And then I would like to alert everyone that I think it is best that we keep moving south as quickly as possible.
Well, we can't move south until the storm passes.
But we can.
Well, I mean, you
because
can
we're
move
in
through
the
the
ravine.
canyon because the canyon does continue winding its way south.
Oh, it does go south. Then okay.
Yeah.
We can go down the ravine until it is no longer heading south.
And theoretically, the further you get, the detritus, I mean, they can't possibly have filled the entire canyon up with garbage. So eventually it should clear up and you should be able to actually walk. So is that what you're doing? If everybody says yes, raise your hand so we can kind of move forward. Okay.
If that's
so
what
you do
Desi
that?
wants to do, Ma'ak will build her a travois sled in the Rykrian style.
All right. And that is, I'm not going to make you roll for that. That's fairly easy to do. There's plenty of material for that. Who is dragging the travois sled?
I offer, because I'm already past the problems.
Does Regness freak out if we give his sled to Crocus?
I mean,
Perhaps
once
we
you
could
get him
ask
strapped
him
in,
in
There's not
advance.
much that he can say.
he might.
Like Regness does he's in such fucking pain that when you place him down on the sled and then Crocus picks it up, he begins to object but just kind of grumbles away and lulls.
Then let us do this. And while we are walking, I would like to pick Cha'ar's brain of his knowledge of the territory and perhaps this ravine.
So I'm sorry, say that again.
I want to know what Cha'ar knows about this ravine.
Oh, I mean, other than the fact that like you are familiar with these types of ravines in this area, you know that it should ultimately come out somewhere, or in a worst case scenario, end in a box canyon where you have to climb or turn back. Hopefully, it doesn't do that, but typically these in most cases, like 7 out of 10 cases, these kinds of winding ravines will open up somewhere else, allowing egress.
All right. Well, if we aren't waiting for the storm to pass, I don't see any reason to wait. And so Ma'ak will take point and start leading the way south. Basically, I can move faster than them, most likely, regardless of terrain or whatever other, stuff we encounter. So he's basically going to use that. He's basically going to use that extra time to harvest more gorge fruit when he encounters them.
Gotcha. Okay, so Ma'ak in the front, and then who's behind Ma'ak?
I'll take up the rear with.
I should probably be behind Ma'ak, even though I'm technically slower. If this is my terrain,
it doesn't matter. It's difficult terrain. You're all moving really slow through this, trying to get out of the trash.
I should probably be up near Ma'ak to be able to, if I see recognizable geographical things and that sort of thing. That make the most sense.
Who's next?
I'll be up there with Char and Ma'ak.
Okay, so you go side by side with Char. Who's next?
I'll stay back with Crocus to make sure he behaves.
Okay, so I assume Bap will go kind of in the middle, and you'll be kind of side by side with Crocus. Okay.
Yes,
so we'll kind of maintain that.
In the back.
We didn't actually establish it, but Ma'ak will have returned Crocus's statue to him.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ma'ak is actually the one who took it, and I didn't actually say I gave it back. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but now I am. I'm giving it back.
When you give it back, like no facade, everything is dropped.
When you do give it back, however, you notice that there is a noticeable crack running down the figure.
Is it still in one piece, or
still
has
in
it
one
been
piece? But there is a crack in it. That's kind of bisecting it. Perpendicularly. It's the statue itself is only about 12 inches tall, about 4 inches in diameter. It depicts a robed female figure, and the crack kind of runs at an angle almost perpendicular to the long axis of the statuette.
Do I feel
very slight?
I was gonna
Geza, can you fix this?
Yeah, do I feel like it's something that I could fix with slip, or is this beyond repair? Or?
Do you have perhaps it is baked? Well, technically, it is magically created, because that is how Eban created all of his contraband statues. Was through the use of the spell Shape Stone, or Shape Sand, rather. Theoretically, that is possible. There is a little bit of wiggle in that crack, so it's not going to come apart immediately, but there's a little bit of wiggle in that crack, and you know that it at least needs to be wrapped to make sure that it is protected and it doesn't completely break. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I would do in the immediate, but also I'll just tell Crocus, when we get to Tyr, it's something that I could probably put a quick fix on if we don't immediately find it's where it's going, because they will be breaking it open regardless, but we probably should seal this up before, just in case there's an inspection of any kind.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like the Yuan-ti were able to get what I think was the black sphere of obsidian out of that thing, did they? It's not like the hole is that big, is it?
No, it's cracked but held together. It's just almost.
It's more like the seam.
Yeah.
The thing is coming apart. Okay, that's fine. because technically we know what's in there,
Yeah.
or we think we do, right? Because that's what we saw in the vision from this other one, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Well, the other ones have
No, this one
have clay cylinders in them.
This was the one that
Right, and from the point of view of that other clay cylinder, we saw Ebon make this one and hide a black sphere in it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so you can wrap it up and you can, like protect it well enough and then start to move off. As you do so, and you start to make your way through this like very difficult passageway. It isn't actually very long before all of the garbage and detritus starts to dissipate, and you eventually get to the place where you can just kind of like start to push things aside. And eventually, after maybe another 100 yards or so, it opens up into a canyon where you can just walk freely, and there's really nothing. There's nothing else is thrown back here. You can still see all of the gorge fruit still clinging to the walls. You pick as you go along, Ma'ak, gathering what you can. It looks like a lot. I mean, like there's not a lot of fruit left in the edible range without having to do like a lot of extra work.
Well, I won't do a lot of I get it. I won't do a lot of extra work, but because I do move faster than them, in theory, I will spend that extra speed collecting stuff. If it's like, on the other side of the canyon, I see one, I'll go get that one. I know not enough. Nobody has enough water to even get through the day, so I got to get more water.
Give me an investigation check. That'll kind of determine like how much you're able to collect overall.
And I'll
23 total.
23. Okay. Good. So you're able to keep a good click. You think that if things hold up by the time that dark comes, you might be able to get enough to cover everyone's water requirements for the day.
Okay. Is Crocus still sick?
I never got over my...
Yeah, you're still not over that. In fact, thanks for reminding me. Give me a Constitution check for Crocus.
Constitution?
Or Constitution save, not check. Sorry, save.
13.
13. Yeah, you. I'm pretty sure Crocus already had one level of exhaustion. Is that right?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
Okay, let's say that you were starting to feel the effects. You now have a level of exhaustion. As you move through the canyon, there are a few times when Crocus has to stop and do his dirty business, and the rest of you can kind of move off. However, Regness has to sit there nearby because you're the one pulling the Travois sled. But you incur one level of exhaustion, and that means that you now have, I think, disability or disadvantage on
skill checks,
I believe. If somebody could just who has a player's handbook, they could just do that check real quick. I'm not sure how to do this on.
What do you want me to look for? Exhaustion?
Just condition exhaustion level 1. I think it's disadvantage on skill checks. But having said that, once you get going again, and you're keeping pace with Desi, Desi, you notice that Regness is sort of digging around in his trousers. Like not crotch wise, but like down his leg. And he pulls his hand out and you see his fist clenched around something.
and he holds it up to his mouth, and you see like a single, like you see like tears starting to well up in his eyes. Give me a perception check.
Ugh. I noticed nothing. I got an 8.
Okay.
Does perception matter though? If I go up to him and say, "What are you doing?"
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at first because obviously you can go up to him, but you know he's doing something, and you hear him whisper something. You can only get a few words. You hear something like "get there" is the only words you can make out.
And I will ask him, "What are you doing?"
He looks up at you and he says, "Do you really care?"
Anyone else hear this?
Sorry, say again.
He says, "Do you really care?"
Yes, I do. You are part of our party now.
He opens his hand and there's a small, like a little satchel in his hand. And he says, "This is my mother." And he closes his hand and he says, "I promised her that we would find the free."
Oh, I see. I see. You know, we're all very mad at you, but that does not make us our enemies.
That is true. I don't hate you. You just hurt me, so I hurt you back. Now we are even. I say over my shoulder.
He says, "You had to hurt me more than I've already been hurt. I can't walk. If you left me now, I would die where you left me."
I know. I'm not going to kill you.
And we are not going to leave you. I hope that means something to you.
You're going to Tyr.
Where you have better hope of medical attention.
Tyr
You're
is where I
still-
was enslaved. Tyr is the last place I want to see. Tyr is the opposite direction in which I want to go. The free
you-
are to the north.
If we left you, you would die and your story would be over. If you come with us to Tyr, we can get you help and you can continue on with this quest. It is so important to you to get your mother to the free people. Endure. We are all enduring under situations that we would rather have otherwise.
I was Calyx's prime glazer. You don't think the Templar know who I am on sight. You take me back to that city and I am a dead man.
I will let you in on a secret. The Templar know who I am on sight as well. But I think we will find ways around this. Do not despair.
How far are we from Tyr? How many days travel?
Char, give me a survival check. Bap, you could also give me one too.
Oh!
We're gonna need that BAP check.
No pressure.
That was a 3 on Char.
I thought the dice wouldn't hate me here as much as they did on.
BAP also. I mean,
Just got out of a cave for a month.
You just got out of a cave for a month.
I got
Vap
thrown
rolled
by-
a
I got
9.
thrown down the
So,
hole, so.
best you know that you have. Oh man, somewhere between
Do-over?
3 days to a week, maybe.
Are we all privy to this conversation with Regness?
For the most part, you can hear it going on, and then you can choose to, involve yourself if you want.
Regness, I'm sure you'll feel much better after a good night's sleep. And I will have more abilities to heal you later. But I'm pretty spent from saving your ass today, so maybe you should just chill out.
You're so dramatic, this Regness.
Does anybody have a mute spell?
I have blindness.
Hey, you didn't
and
have to
deafness.
ask him about his dead mother that he was talking to.
Well, actually, Regness, we do have to ask you what you're doing because you're not trustworthy and you need to earn back trust. Are we going to take you to Tyr? Only if you need us to. But if you're good enough to travel on your own, good luck, sir.
I don't need your trust, Birdman, and I don't want it. And I don't want to go to Tyr.
Great. How about
Heal
we
me
kill you
and
and
leave
take
me
the
to the
water?
desert.
How much
We
water
could
is
have
in
left
this
you
body?
for dead. You could be a silk machine. You're welcome. Shut up.
This is
Maybe
good
that
cup,
would have
bad
been
cup,
better.
sir.
Who knows what your giant will do to me by the end?
Well, nothing if you don't offend him again. Perhaps you could refrain from stealing our very sentimental goods. Is that within your purview? Can you do that, Regness, or are you just going to steal everything you see?
He can't steal if he doesn't have hands.
I don't need your lectures.
I'm not lecturing you. I'm telling you to shut up.
At this point, Regness...
And I'll be sure to conjure water to make sure you don't die of dehydration tonight, even though you're a pain in my ass.
Yeah, Regness doesn't really respond. He just kind of
Good.
his head to the side.
And if you complain about that, we'll give you the water after we drink it.
Jesus.
I just want to point out Geza's one bad roll on his sheet is he has an 8 charisma. So I'm trying to lean into that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just acting like the manager of Golden Apple.
Right?
Okay. All right, so you guys can continue to make your way forward. Anything else that you are keeping an eye out for or trying to do as you move along?
I want to make sure that we're continuing in the right direction, that this ravine doesn't double back or do anything that takes us, far off our path that's going to be detrimental.
That's a real hard thing to determine.
No, it's
gonna
not.
It's
Ma-
going to take
knows
some
their
survival
stars?
checks.
No, it's not. Ma'ak always knows which direction is north. He will not let us double back.
What is that like? What ability is that?
That's
Ma'ak
the
has?
feat Keen Mind.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Then you are good. Then you are good. You know that the ravine does double back a few times, but it always seems to ultimately turn back towards the southerly direction.
And Mock is always pointing north. That's something we just learned.
Do we have any? Are there any indications that we're being followed?
That would be. Give me perception checks for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say I wanted to.
DM, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The fire that we set to the veins of sulfur underground, how far do they spread? Because there's that city in Pennsylvania where the coal mine caught on fire and it's still burning through all the different veins. Do we have any way of checking? Because
Did we create history?
yeah, or did we create something that might come back and kill us? Is the fire going to blow through one of the walls of these ravines with the I don't know.
I mean, that's going to be a hard thing to. I mean, there's no way for you to be.
We'll come back in 6 months and take a look.
Unfortunately, dwarves and Athos do not have stone cunning, so even if it did, it might take years to spread.
Okay, so
fully.
there's no immediate danger from that then.
Yeah, you don't think so. You think that you're pretty much fine. It's just a matter of like, as far as BAP knows, like this ravine leads right the fuck back to the Yanti hive. So that there's all that detritus heading through, so it's hard to tell, and the going is incredibly slow for a long time. So as you make your way through this ravine, day starts getting long before you like completely come out of it and like exit where all of that trash, all of that waste has been deposited. And then the ravine still continues to go. So once you actually get like free of all of that and you start walking freely through the ravine, that's kind of when your anxiety starts to elevate, because that's when you start to feel really exposed. Like when you were back climbing through all of that garbage, you felt like there's no way anybody could follow us through this. But now, like, it feels like, God, you don't know. You're always looking over your shoulder.
I spaced out. Are we on perception checks?
We did, and you and I rolled a 21 and a 22, so I think we saw whatever we needed to see.
Okay.
Yeah, 21, 22. Like at the moment, you're not perceiving anything. Mock, you continue to collect the gorge fruit where you can, and you're gathering up a decent amount, and you can keep moving forward. And a couple more hours go by as you move through this gorge, and it continues to wind its way southerly.
I would like to sing victory songs. Embolden our spirits.
I am trained in performance. I will assist you. I am trained in performance.
Give it to me. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll know her victory songs, but I'm gonna do my best to like do chorus and just provide, like a baseline thumping, I guess. Just
I also imagine that I know a lot of songs that have callbacks, like very folk songs, like where you call out, "I once knew a lass with a big fat ass," and then everybody else has to like bark out like "Mecca like a high, and something like that. So like people who want to participate, as I can tell that Craucus clearly does, have the space to do so.
What the hell? Okay.
Yeah, you certainly could do that. I won't make. I would love to make you actually perform this, but time is getting short, unfortunately.
All right, so because my sheet's all messed up, I'm doing the math by hand. So I rolled a 13.
13 for your performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
to help.
You can keep pace, and I mean your rhymes and your comebacks, your callbacks are not particularly the best. They all tend to focus on like the gladiatorial arena and like murdering people. It's your experience. So after a little bit, kind of brings the whole thing down, and just kind of peters off a little bit.
I want to see if my charisma can save it, though.
Yeah, give it to me. Give me your charisma.
Because I feel like as a bard, I'm so happy that anyone is participating that it really lights me up.
Well, you certainly make the verses go a little bit longer than they probably should have. Like, you know, yeah, you and Kraukus sort of get into a rhythm with each other and don't quite read the rest of the room. And
we bash their brains, and we eat their brains, and we kill them dead.
And that's the moment that suddenly an arrow flies past you and clatters off of the wall in front of you.
I will die.
And
from
you
cover
whip around like the canyon itself is echoing with the sounds of merriment, and you completely forget that perhaps the Yuan-Ti could be pursuing you. And when that arrow clatters past you, yeah, but you certainly didn't hear it over the din. And as you turn, you can see a Yuan-Ti pureblood standing just at a bend behind you, bow in hand, having just released, pointing and yells something serpentine. And then you see a rush of other Yuan-Ti surge around the corner. Three purebloods, the pitmaster, as well as these two grotesque brood guards, serpentine-like figures, snake from head to toe, with just enough humanoid aspect to delineate them from their ground slithering kin. Everybody needs to give me initiatives.
14.
Where is it?
It's next to armor class under proficiency.
Yeah.
Ah.
14.
I'm still singing when they come around. I rolled a 7.
And you can see this area of gorge that you're in is like Ma'ak. You were suddenly like, oh shit, a cornucopia of gorge fruit, larger than you've seen anywhere. You know that this area that you're in right now could sustain all of you easily for at least today, tomorrow, and possibly a third day. With all of the gorge fruit that's in it, all of the plant life that is growing on the walls of this gorge.
Then that's probably what Ma'ak was doing when the attack came. He was gathering fruit. I rolled a 14 on my initiative.
Okay, so why is this not showing up? Oh, here we go. Now, for some reason, I'm running the encounter here in D&D Beyond, and none of your initiatives are showing up.
Can you manually enter them?
Can you turn it off?
Okay, so let's do this. What was BAP's initiative?
16.
16. What was Char's initiative?
13.
13. Desi?
7.
7. Geza?
9.
Okay. Kraukus?
Who had
14.
14. And Ma'ak.
14.
who had the 19?
You did. You just rolled 3 times.
Oh, my bad. Well, I'll take the 19 if the last one counts, but 13 was the first one. Sorry.
Okay, so give me just a second because
I was just grooving to the music.
It slaps.
Glow sticks and Dr. Seuss hats.
Okay, so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna turn these guys on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Get him, Randy.
okay. Sorry. Give me just a moment. Get out of here. There. Master. Make sure that I've got this right. Okay. Okay.
God, they just
So-
multiplying.
Yeah, okay. So here are all of the Yuan-ti as they emerge from around the corner. This is the one that shot the arrow that clattered off of the wall. But we start with you, Brood Guard. And okay, I'm not exactly sure how I do this.
I need more wine before we get into this. Hold on.
You know what, that's a good idea. Let's take a real quick little bio break.
Okay.
Or, a wine break. We'll be right back. Okay. So, as you stand there and you look back over your shoulder, you see the Yuan-ti standing there, bold as brass, one having just launched an arrow in your direction. And as you your eyes widen, you see the serpentine abominations, the Yuan-ti brood guards, begin to surge, or one of them surge past the purebloods, charging towards Craucus, hissing wildly. And let's see if I can figure out real quick how I'm supposed to attack Craucus. I'm pretty sure I don't know. And what's Craucus's AC?
Like 34.
It's
It's
207.
It's 15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
15 AC, and the brood guard rushes towards you, lashing out, clawing at your skin. I wonder if I can drop this on you. Let's see, let's clear that. And I can't drop it on you. I think we're just going to have to do this manually for the moment.
Yeah, you told me how much damage I got.
As it claws out at you, it does a measly 3 points of damage. Digging its talons into your skin, but then it lashes out once more, glancing off of your flesh, and then attempts to bite into your skin. And its fangs bury themselves not too deeply for another 4 points of damage. Then we see a Yuan-ti. Let's see, next. Yeah, that's how it goes. One of the purebloods standing in the back steps forward, and fires an arrow at Desi. What is your AC?
14.
Ooh, hits you. And oh. Does 12 points of damage. As the arrow buries itself into your flesh, you can feel venom begin to disperse through your veins.
Oh, you son of a...
And you scream at the pain, and you can feel tension in your temples as all of your capillaries start to constrict.
So you're telling me I sense poison?
You sense poison.
But you love poison, so it's cool.
And she fires another arrow at Craucus, hitting as well.
and does total of 11 points of damage to Craucus. Because once again, you feel poison course through your veins. And you yell out. It is now Bap's turn.
Okay. Wow. So first a question. I'm looking at the map, so imagining that they're south of us, right? Just looking at it.
They're north of you.
Okay, so then top of the map, can I sort of move back and get covered? Do you see how there's sort of like what looks like an indentation there?
Like here? Like right there?
No. Like away from them, towards the top.
There?
Like there. Yeah.
Yeah. You can move through friendly space.
That I know.
Sure.
I just didn't know if that was enough of an indentation to give me cover.
I mean, like
Partial.
like
right?
if you look at this curve, it depends on who's going to attack you. Like obviously you have full cover from this brood. Well, you basically have full cover from everybody right now. This pureblood, the one that just fired at Craucus and Desi, might. Well, no. You have full cover. You can't see any of them.
Okay.
Now.
So then I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
I'll just hit this.
Move it to me.
Is there in his retreat? Does he see any opportunity to create a bottleneck, like any further back? If there's any sort of geological structures where we could retreat and create a bottleneck?
Well, I mean, like the best bottleneck you could hope for is a space that's only 5 feet wide. Because right now you're in a space that's 10 feet, which is technically a bottleneck. Because I mean, right now, like you and Craucus are creating a front that they can't.
We're
get
the
past.
bottleneck.
So you are the bottleneck.
There's good news and bad news.
Good news is yes. Bad news is it's you.
Yes.
Isn't Craucus a large creature? And
Yes, Craucus is a large creature, and technically,
So
you know what? You're right. Let me change his. Let me change his size so that to represent that.
Because that's a bottleneck right there.
Oh, that's a bottleneck.
That's
full
a
neck.
better representation, and
That's a bulwark more than a bottleneck.
that's technically how this should function. Is that? I mean, like the thing with Ma'ak is that Ma'ak is technically large but very narrow.
Yeah,
So depending on which way Ma'ak stands, it's easy to get past Ma'ak, which is why Ma'ak should really look more like this. Nope. Should look more like that.
Mm-hmm. But that's
Turn
not how
sideways.
it
Turn sideways.
Yeah, it's not how D&D works, but it is how Photoshop works. So we're gonna do that because that makes much more sense for Ma'ak.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bap, you move forward. Are you going to hold your action? Is that the idea? Are you
I
preparing
thought
something?
is Mage Armor.
Right. I'm
Mage
sorry.
Armor my
You said
action?
Mage Armor. So Craucus,
I mean,
Craucus,
I
what
know
are you
it's
doing?
bonus, but
No. You cast Mage Armor on yourself and Craucus.
I use my rage, and I don't know how to. Oh, I just click that. I think that worked. And then I'm going to attack the nearest homie. I got a natural 20.
Oh shit! Okay, so you attack that brood that brood guard.
Yeah.
Right there in front of you. Give me your damage on that bad boy with that big old club.
Plus an additional 2 damage. So for 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay.
So
you bring your club down.
After getting pierced with an arrow, slashed bit, you guys just see the rage in the veins start to pulse, and I let out a bellow. And I bring my club down on his stupid snake body. Yeah, you like it when I go into a rage.
Okay. Yeah, you hit him. You hear the the hissing snake.
Rage?
Ma'ak, it's your turn.
All right. I can move through friendly territory, you said, right? So,
Yep.
I
You just
will,
can't end in friendly territory.
Sure. I will take up those 2 squares directly to the right of Crowds.
Here?
Yep.
Okay.
And I will. Crocus's foe is still up.
Yep.
Right.
Bleeding profusely from the nose and what you assume are ears, little holes on the side of his head.
Okay. Then Ma'ak will stab it once with the Githka and try to finish it.
Okay. Give me your attacks.
Go. A 13.
13. And oh, it just glances off of its tough, leathery hide.
All right, I'll take my second attack then. Again, a 13, so that's not going to do it. Although I noticed on my bonus actions, there's a bite here. Can I bite him?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Let's try that.
Yeah, bite him back. He bit me.
I think. I mean, we'll have to revisit that. But for
How
now,
about a
sure.
14? Does a 14?
Oh
hit?
yeah, as you reach down, your mandibles go in and they just barely penetrate the thick, leathery serpentine hide of this thing.
Awesome. All
Give
right.
me
Well,
that
Just the tip.
well, I roll minimum damage, 3 points.
Not
What
nothing.
you want to see?
It whips its arm out, pushing your head and mouth back away from it. But you definitely feel like, and you taste the blood, and you see the blood splatter out as you're pushed away. And it is now Char's turn.
Can I use that firebolt cantrip spell and try and burn these things? Like aim for their
Sure
eyes, aim for a
can.
soft spot.
Right now, you can see. Yeah, you can see like basically all of these, like everyone but the last 2, the Pitmaster and the Brood Guard that's in the back.
Okay.
Choose your
Are you
target.
gonna stay where you are? Are you gonna move closer?
Oh, I can move closer, right?
Yeah, you can
I'll
move
def-
right up behind Desi, which will give you
Okay.
even a better vantage point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one is dying, right? The one that mock or the
It's
Raptors?
hurting. You're not sure. It still looks like it's got a lot of life and vitality left in it.
Knocking
So
on heaven's door.
I'm gonna ask the group. Should I try and finish off this one?
You just
Or
gotta
should I
go.
try and injure another one?
Go with your gut.
Concentrate damage.
Yeah, take it out.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try and kill this fucker
Okay.
with a cantrip with a firebolt. Do I have
Your
to?
attack roll on that, or is there an attack roll on Firebolt?
I've got
Yes.
on my sheet. I've got 2 firebolts. One is cantrip cleric, and then one is cantrip bonus cantrip.
Let me see. This is
So
That's on the D&D Beyond sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Do
probably
they have different modifiers?
probably need to work on this. Let me open up your character sheet. Take a look here real quick. No.
So it's something that you can cast for free or possibly at a higher level for more damage, maybe?
Okay, so this is obvious. Okay, so there's a problem here. There should only be one. It's a bonus cantrip that you get. So ignore one of those.
Okay.
Because it's a cantrip. It's at will. It's always prepared. You can do it as many times as you want. So it doesn't matter.
So just click on the
Yeah.
bonus.
So just
section.
and then let's see. You hurl a mote of fire at a creature.
18.
Hey.
16 to hit. Is that right?
And I want to shoot it right in its ear hole.
18. That definitely hits. So,
We're having some charred snake tonight.
windows open. Okay.
Yeah.
So give me that. What did you roll damage?
Yeah.
Well, he
How much
rolled
was
to
it?
hit, not.
I
not
rolled
to
a hit. I rolled, and now what do I roll for damage?
Roll
What do I do?
roll the damage die on that,
What
What-
is that?
which is going to be the 1d10.
Okay.
Just click on that. Oh, 3 points of damage. You launch your firebolt out. It whizzes past Desi and Craucus. It hits the brood guard, but it just kind of sizzles off of his hard, scaly, the slick skin. It leaves a blackened mark, and it does yelp, but it doesn't seem too particularly phased by what you just did. Geza.
So I have a spell that's not in D&D Beyond. That's called Dust Devil.
Yep.
I want to cast the Dust Devil. So there's the character that's standing next to Ma'ak, then the one that's standing under that character to the right, to the right of that second one. That's where I would like to cast the Dust Devil.
Okay, so you've got the brood guard, you've got the pure blood. You want to do it just to the right of the pure blood,
Yeah, where it's
kind of in that corner where there's the two lady.
right there.
Yeah,
So
and
this
they're
is,
not necessarily, they're not all ladies. Just like the icons
Sure.
for pure blood looks like a lady, but like in the corner of those two lady icons. Is that the idea?
Yes, this has nothing to do with targeting ladies and everything to do with
It's
getting
just
as
just
many
identifying
creatures
the
as
proper location
Yeah, that's it.
for your misogyny.
So I'm choosing an unoccupied 5-foot cube of air that I can see within range. An
Okay.
elemental force that resembles a dust devil appears in the cube and lasts for the spell's duration, which is up to 1 minute of concentration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of this dust devil must make a strength savings throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 1d8 bludgeoning damage and is pushed 10 feet away from the dust devil. I don't know how that works in this confined space. That's for you to figure out. On a
This is the dust devil.
On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and is not pushed. And then as a bonus action, I can move the Dust Devil up to 30 feet in any direction if I would like. If it moves over sand, dirt, or loose light gravel, it sucks up the material and forms a 10-foot radius cloud of debris around itself, which obscures the area. Let me know if you have any questions about that.
Well, my question is, I was busy drawing a dust devil, and so just tell me what happens.
Nothing. Apparently, nothing upon casting. Only up on the end of each of their turns.
It's like Spirit Guardians.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it also
You
works
got
like
a little dust
thunder
devil, and
shot.
it's moving around here. It erupts from the ground, and there's plenty of fucking dust within this little canyon.
So
to draw
in theory, it could be picking up that and creating the 10-foot radius of visual obfuscation right now. But according to the spell, that only happens if it moves. So that's your call as well.
Okay, so not just yet. It's whipping up sand and sediment from the ground directly below it, forming itself. It is now the next purebloods.
I would like to move also though.
Okay, where are you going to move?
Wait, how high are the canyon walls?
Fit like 50 feet.
Okay,
at least.
I can fly.
But they're not directly up. They kind of like snake up.
Okay, do I see a perch that I could get to 50 feet or so away?
Yeah, you could get to the opposite side of the canyon right here at this bend.
Okay.
So you could get here.
Okay, that's where I'd like to go. I just want to have a bird's eye view of what's going on in case there's more coming.
Okay.
I am a bird.
Yeah.
Okay. And we are now here with this one. And this Yanti pureblood sidesteps
moves back away from the Dust Devil. Does that open up an attack of opportunity moving away from the Dust Devil?
No.
I would assume not.
It does not.
Okay. And is going to fire an arrow towards Ma'ak. Hissing.
But for everyone else's clarity, don't move towards the Dust Devil. If you end your turn within 5 feet of it, you will take damage.
Okay. And that arrow clatters off of the wall behind you, but she immediately knocks another and lets it fly. What is Ma'ak's AC?
17.
Ooh.
And don't I get cover from the fact she's got to shoot through a couple of her companions to hit me?
Well, then you would also have to do that if you were trying to attack through your companions.
But I don't. I attack things adjacent to me.
Yeah, but like if Char, Desi, anybody else...
Isn't that the rules?
No, like you can fire through friendly territory as far as...
All right.
Plus, if you look, she can... Like you're over here, so she can fire along this trajectory.
Sure.
Let's put a pin in that. Like let's not let's make a point to revisit that rule and make sure that that's correct after tonight.
All right.
And because that may be the case, but let's not slow things down for just right now. And boom and boom. You take 7 points of damage. The arrow can just barely penetrate your kite, and only just the slightest amount of that poison do you feel stinging your bug goo on the inside. And
very respectful.
Yeah.
yes. And
God, no, that went out the window a long time ago.
yeah.
Right, so,
Well, I
what
mean,
can we
like,
say?
no, like these poison arrows don't give slit saves.
Oh, it's
It's just added damage. It's just added damage. And it's now Desi's turn.
Sorry, how much did I take total? You said 7?
7
Okay.
points of damage.
I'm curious if I take the thing that is not a gurney from Craucus, how good are my odds of getting it back up to where like Bap is and retreating with Regness?
You just need to give me an athletics check.
Let's do it.
So you're gonna take you're gonna try to get Regness out of the line of fire is the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a saint.
I just don't like tripping over things. I got a 9.
Oh, 9.
Oh no, it's
That's a
way
really
too
good
heavy,
roll.
and you end up kind of like you take it out of Craucus's hands, but as you're trying to muscle it around Char, you drop it. So you're able to get to here, and let me disconnect Regness from Craucus. And he's also too big. God damn it. Yeah, he's way too big. Let me put him back down to where the size he's supposed to be. Yeah, you can get him to right here when you drop him.
That's a win.
As you're trying to get around Char. But it helps a little bit. And it is now, unless you have any other like special abilities or whatever that you can do.
I do.
Bardic inspiration.
Yes. Who is next in the rotation?
Well, you're not sure who's next in the rotation.
Then I'm gonna give it to Craucus.
Yeah, you know that. I mean, like, you know that pretty much everybody has acted at this point, and Bap was the first one to act.
Yeah, I mean, as you're grabbing,
If you want to give it to
the,
Crocus, give it to Crocus.
as you're
Go
grabbing the
ahead.
stretcher, that makes sense. You're like, "Good luck out there. I'm going to take him out of the way," and you touch his little body. His
Whose
big,
little body am I touching?
his big little body. His big little body.
His big little body. Okay, so
Yeah.
Crocus. Okay, what are you doing to Crocus? Giving him bardic inspiration.
Yeah,
Okay.
on his little body.
Okay. His little body.
Yeah, I'm that hot.
I mean, there's just so many jokes that could
No,
be
there's
made
not.
if I was still
There's
in
not.
high school.
There's not any jokes you can do with that.
That was perfectly.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that was a perfectly normal thing to do. Okay, so Crocus, just make sure that you note that you've got bardic inspiration.
I get to add a
whatever you
D4
want
to
to use.
like to hit. I think is what I'll probably end up doing.
Yeah, and now, Pitmaster steps forward, pushes aside the brood guard and the purebloods that stand between him, steps further forward, and
And poops his pants just in front of everybody.
let's see.
What an embarrassment.
Okay. Man. What is Pit Guard? What does Pitmaster want to do?
Just like yell a bunch and like stomp around.
Yeah.
Why
Get him, you nincompoops! Yeah.
How are you trying to make silk?
Yeah.
Bring me back my silk machine.
Yeah.
This is so rude. You
Yeah,
guys,
he just whinges. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that's what he does.
I'm into it. It's like
Okay.
good villain.
Ma'ak, Crocus, Cha'ar, Desi,
No.
and Regness. All of you need to give me a Constitution savings throw.
No. I think I get a bonus or something to that, so I'm gonna roll and see what's up.
Where would that be?
On your main sheet, I think.
Crocus rolled a 7.
10 from Ma'ak.
I rolled 18.
Oh,
Wait. Hold on.
Jesus.
Like hold those numbers in your brain pan.
Where are
Just
saves,
a
actually?
Second.
They're in the upper left-hand corner, underneath Strength, Dex, and Constitution.
I'm trying to figure out how do you get to your main character sheet again? This is the dumbest question. I realize that.
How did you get off of the main character?
Well, because you can go to like abilities, actions, inventory.
Oh, it's always going to be in the upper left-hand corner. There's a small window that says saving throws. Even if you're on actions, inventory, features, descriptions. If you've moved away from your character, then click the link in the chat.
I don't know how to get to my main sheet. That's so funny.
Okay, so Crocus rolled a 7
17.
or some awful shit. What did Char roll? 4. Okay. Oh God. Oh. This could be bad. This is what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do all of this. Okay.
But those are checks, not saves for Desi
They're
and Char.
saves. Yeah, you
Well,
make sure you're
for
doing
Char
a
and
save.
Desi rolled checks, not saves.
Oh, I see.
oh, I had to roll the one that's in the box that says
Yeah,
saving throws?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
because
because
Roll the save.
that is sometimes better.
Yeah. So you gotta
And-
both you guys gotta re-roll.
If you're proficient in that ability.
Right.
This is the Constitution one, right?
Yeah, I think you're proficient in it. But you both need to reroll.
Check was better.
13.
Okay. That's
Oh my god, I got a better save than I even got a check.
You
Okay.
did. You both did. Look
Okay.
at that. Would you look at
and
that?
then-
Would you look at that?
And I need to roll for Regness. Which
for the-
doesn't really fucking
For the record,
matter
the only
because-
way that I know how to get back to the main character sheet is going all the way into like collections, my characters, character sheet, and like
Well,
reload.
what I do is I have 2 windows open. One for the encounter, one for the characters. So,
This seems easier in Fantasy Grounds. Just point for Fantasy Grounds, but
well,
And I'm gonna-
I obviously need to watch some YouTube videos on how you're supposed to run combat in because we're running combat in the beta version of this encounter. So these are all things that need to be sort of commented on. Is like there needs to be like character sheets and combat, like it all needs to be kind of collected.
it is
in a
not
way.
seamless. D&D.
No, and yeah, that's the thing. Like here's savings throws. So con for Regness. Oh yeah, no. Regness is out cold. Okay. So that was that, and then what was Mock? What was Mock's roll?
10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you saying that's not good? It's not a good.
I'm saying
confidence.
that's definitely not good. So as the pitmaster steps forward, holds his hand up, he looks at the 5 of you, and there's like this quick moment where he glances. Oh, it's very good, the bad, and the ugly. As he pauses, and then boom, like eye contact, boom, 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 looks at all 5 of you, and Ma'ak, Kraukus, Regness, you just out and you drop.
No way.
What did he just do?
We're
Is it
asleep.
Sleep.
Put you to sleep.
No, I am immune to sleep.
Ah!
Wasted
And-
target.
People who know their characters.
And I'm not at his eye level. So if you look at those 3, I would not be asleep either, and I would avert my eyes. I would do the whole Perseus.
Well, you rolled well enough, so you're fine anyway. So,
gotta steal his
Ma'ak, you glare back at him, and there's a moment of dissatisfaction upon the eye, within the eye of the pitmaster.
Well,
He
didn't
glowers at you.
he just end his turn within 5 feet of that?
Oh, he sure
Well,
as shit did.
Yeah,
He
so-
sure as
Means
shit.
he's making another
Yeah.
save.
And I have
Yes, he
a
is.
question.
And what do I do with that? Like, what's the idea?
I'm gonna let me look at it again. What's your question, Mark?
Could Mock do the what is it called, the sharing, the
Meta concert is still up.
Meta concert?
Could he do meta concert with me, and I could close my eyes and I can see through the meta concert and I can help attack?
I can spend bonus actions to share memories, technically.
If he can share, I don't know if the link works in a way where it's like I can see through his eyes, but if he can do that, I can fight. I can cover my eyes.
You're good regardless, Mark, because of your saving throw. But also, he doesn't need to look into your eyes. That was just for flavor. Sleep is hit point and save based. So
Okay, well then,
Yeah.
I want to help. I want to fight and chop this motherfucker up.
let's fuck him up. Let's fuck him up good. But he has to throw a savings throw because he ended within 5 feet of the Dust Devil. The savings throw would be against my spell DC, I guess.
Yep.
Which is, and is it a what kind of savings throw is it?
Strength.
Strength.
Yeah.
And what am I rolling to succeed
15.
against?
15 is my spell thing.
Oh yeah, like the wind just whips around him, and he just stands there like a fucking badass.
Cool. So on a successful save, the creature takes half damage and isn't pushed, and I roll a 1d8 bludgeoning damage for him. Which I'll just roll a d8 here. We don't have to target or anything, I assume.
Nope. Just roll the d8.
Did it happen? I can't see.
I didn't see any damage.
Just
tell me what you rolled.
There we go. There, it rolled 2 for some reason, but fucking both of them were 8s, so great.
Wait, so what's the total damage? What's the half damage?
4 would be the half damage.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can see the wind and grit hitting him. His eyes narrow, and he kind of pushes and holds himself and grits his teeth. There's a slight amount of pain, but he holds himself there once again like a badass.
Okay.
And having said that, this Yanti back here holds her position and launches an arrow at Ma'ak, who stands in defiance against the magic of the Pitmaster. Come on. Oh, but the arrow clatters off of the wall. She hisses and fires another, but that one finds its mark and does kind of a devastating 12 points of damage.
Jesus. Fuck. It hit a 17?
Yep. It hit a 17 exactly.
All right. 12 more.
Okay. And then we have the other Yanti Pureblood here all the way at the back. Now, if one of these individuals ends up moving through the space of the Dust Devil, will it also take the damage? Or does it have to end its turn?
If it ends its turn within 5 feet, then it does. Okay.
So this Yanti just surges forward and just hacks into Craucus. Getting advantage on its attack.
Do I have reach since I'm large? Does that work in 5th edition?
You should have. Well, I don't think that's in your character sheet.
Reach would be more than 5 feet?
Yeah. You're a big creature, but you don't have super long arms.
No, but
we can revisit this, because here's the thing that we should all understand is that what we are doing, the game that we are playing, is all everything is adjustable. So here in 5e, all of your character classes, your races, everything has been logged as version 0.5. Therefore, as we play, we can say, well, that didn't make sense. That's overpowered. That's underpowered. Let's think about this. And we can make changes and not worry ourselves too much about, the continuity of it all.
One of the changes that I think doesn't make sense is that my club built for a half giant only does 1d4 damage.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Well, the club itself does the 1d4. The extra damage is in your fucking ridiculous amount of extra strength.
Yeah,
that you add to that damage. So
are you adding a significant bonus?
I add 6
plus 6. Yeah, shit. Okay, so you're right. Advantage on these rolls.
So I guess the answer is no. I don't get an attack of opportunity on him as he charges forward.
Well, he doesn't because he's moving into your space, not moving out of your space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you don't get an attack of opportunity when somebody moves into your space.
Yes, correct.
Only when you move out of your space. Okay, so the first attack hits on Craucus. The second one does not hit, and the third does hit. So let's get rid of that. So you end up taking another 11 points of damage, Crocus.
Okay, I'm starting to bleed.
Doesn't that wake Kraukas up at least?
Should.
As you fall asleep, I believe
Yeah, when
if you take damage,
you wake.
yeah.
it gives you another save.
What?
Perhaps.
I thought you just wake up.
I will read the spell.
Read it. Yes, please do. While I move forward with the combat.
Yep,
Because we have the other Yuan-Ti brood guard who's standing directly in front of Ma'ak. Also lashes out at Ma'ak with its attacks. And fortunate. Oh, it claws out at you with two talons, both of them glancing off your chitin. But the last one, as it lunges in with its bite, it finds a gap and makes purchase, doing 5 points of damage.
All right.
Yeah, when you take damage, you wake up.
Oh, okay. Then Craucus, you have. You fucking like, what is happening? And you wake up. And the last one is this Yuan-Ti pureblood here, who's standing directly next to the Dust Devil, and I assume that she is not going to take effect until her turn is over.
That last one owes a save too.
Aaron.
Yes.
Is this sleep different? Is this a hit point based sleep?
No.
Okay. Because the sleep spell that I'm reading is a hit point based sleep, so I don't know if it has different things. Like this is 5d8 hit points.
No, it's not. Let me take another look real quick.
That's
Yeah,
a first level enchantment. I don't have a description of another.
Sleeping target awakens. If it takes damage, it takes damage. If it awakens, if it takes damage.
Okay.
No. Not hit point based, but
Same
does
rules.
awaken if you take damage.
Okay.
So, and then the Yuan-Ti pureblood needs to make a. You said it was a strength save for the Dust Devil.
Mm-hmm.
It is a strength save of 15. Yeah.
Okay, and give me that damage roll.
You don't want to just keep it per round at 8. You want to roll every time.
I mean, if you're fine with 8, I'm fine with 8.
Yeah, eight's what it is. 8 is a fail. 4 is the success on the save. But if they fail, they're also pushed 10 feet away. Whatever that means in this.
Blue room.
Yeah.
It gets pushed back beyond the other side of the Dust Devil as it bounces off of its compatriots. And then, meanwhile, this pureblood, as Craucus awakens, she also fires a short bow at the half giant. What was your AC again?
15.
15. The first one hits, and the second one clatters off behind you. And you take 13 points of damage.
Fuck.
I am now well below half.
Okay. And she now saves. And she is blown back. And she's actually blown back beyond her companions.
Take that 8 points, baby.
Got 8. Okay. It is now Bap's turn. Now, Bap, you are realizing quickly that this battle is not going you guys' way, and
Yeah,
unless
that's
you
pretty
do
clear.
something desperate, you might not make it out of this.
So just one thing really quick, just as a heads up, I'm happy to do something, but I'm at like 7% battery last time I checked. So
I think this would actually be depending on what you choose to do, this might be a good cliffhanger for next time and a good place to pause this.
Do you want me to wait? Okay, wait till next week to tell you what I did?
No. I want you to do your thing.
Okay.
But keep in mind what I'm saying to you is, if you don't go all out,
I know. I got that. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. The subtext was very clear on that. Yeah. So here's my. So I know what I want to do, but just a quick question. So the guy who casts sleep, he still sleep's a concentration spell. Am I doing that?
Well, for the Yuan-Ti, it doesn't work the same. So you've seen the Pitmaster do this before. It doesn't require him to concentrate.
So okay, we're dealing with. He's well. I still think that's the best thing I could probably do. I mean, I can't wake. Can I wake somebody with a bonus action? Give them a little.
If you damage them.
You could also attempt to wake them with a bonus action by screaming.
Well, keep in mind too, right now, the only person who is still under the sleep effect is Regness. Everybody else is woken up.
Oh, then okay. So then I hadn't. All right, I didn't.
So you were probably realizing that you right now need to do the most damage you can possibly do.
Yeah, that's what I was. So
in the least amount of time, least amount of effort.
I want to use my Burning Hands as a second level spell, and
as a second level spell,
which is
are you going to move forward to where you can get a better clue? Okay,
I'd like to pop out, shoot it, and then pop back.
Okay, so maybe right here.
Let me.
Are you doing it to the? Are you doing?
Or
it
you can also move right here behind.
I think I should use the guy that just put everybody to sleep.
Yeah, if you want to do
he
it,
seems the most dangerous.
Pitmaster, you'd have to run over next to the cyclone and then run back so you don't end within 5 feet of it.
Okay,
so
then that's
next to the Pitmaster.
You could technically move into Crocus's space,
but does Burning Hands require him to touch?
No, it's
Burning Hands is like a cone. So what you would have to do is move here, and you could get all of these guys.
That's exactly what I was just about to see. Who could I get? I'm going to move there and get all of those guys. So I just click cast. I don't know if it rolled anything. Oh, then I need to. So it says it's hit / DC is a 14. So they all have to make 14 dex saves. Is that or rolls?
14 dex saves. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you what the damage is if I hit anybody.
Because I think is it save for half? Does it say?
It doesn't on the D&D Beyond sheet, but I could look it up really quickly. So
I think because Burning Hands is a first level spell, so I think it's either half or nothing.
Half as much on a 6. No, it's a 3d6. Well, that was if it was a first level spell, but on a failed save, or half as much on a successful save. So you still
take damage.
Yeah, and
yeah. So it's 3d6 fire damage, half on a successful.
But it'll be 4d6 because I'm
casting at a higher level.
Yeah, and that's the highest level I can cast it. I mean, it's whether or not the subtext. There's that thing of, well, is it worth casting it? Really, because you could get 66 over 2 turns.
Well, also because you're affecting most of the assailants.
But no. Well, I was just definitely was going to cast it, but just which level? But I think
second level for sure, or third level, whatever.
Okay,
I think
possible. Okay, so give me damage.
All right, let's see it. It is a total of 12.
4d6.
Yeah, it was a 2.
I got 1 was a 1.
1.
I got a 6 for 1, and then a 2 and a 3. So,
okay,
cool.
Well, here's what happens.
12 or 6.
Bap rushes forward, and he pushes his way through the group, emerges between Craucus and Ma'ak, begins to speak his incantation. All of you are pretty certain at this point that Bap is a wizard of some kind, an arcanist.
Oh, we already knew that.
You saw him, use this down in the Brood Queen's chamber. As he begins to cast, though, he plants himself in the soil and spreads his arms out and says something that you had not heard him say before. And as he does so, everybody give me perception checks.
Pretty good.
9.
I got a 9.
15.
15.
24.
So anybody who got a 15 or higher immediately notices that all of the gorge fruit in the entire vicinity shrivels into little black husks and turns to powder. And then, and this is something that Bap, even you weren't anticipating. What first happens, Craucus, you feel something inside your satchel to your side where you placed the figurine. You feel something snap and erupt and concuss against your hip, and it hurts as something inside your satchel explodes. Everyone else, and then everyone other than Bap, give me Constitution saves.
Not me, though, right? I'm far away.
Nope. You too.
Oh, even at 50 feet? Okay.
Yep. Because even up where you are, you see plant life on the ground die and turn to ash.
Okay.
Yikes. I got a 9.
17 for Ma'ak.
17.
This is Constitution again?
Yeah,
Constitution save.
Yeah. So 16 for Geza.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right.
11. These dice suck.
11 for me as well.
I don't know how to roll random dice on here.
You and me both.
Maybe just is that little red thing in the corner?
Yeah, left corner, there's just raw dice rolls.
And you can...
an actual physical die.
Okay.
Anyone who rolled under a 15 takes 11 points of damage.
Jesus.
God, I'm gonna die.
If you rolled over a 15, you take 5 points of damage.
I am down to 17.
I'm way low.
I'm
The
down.
cost of your magic is less than the output.
Okay, and once again, Bap, this is an experience you've never had in your life. As you cast Burning Hands, it erupts forth from your hands, and it fucking completely fills the gorge in front of you, burning the Brood Guard and the Purebloods completely fucking alive. They scream and yell. You see the Pit Guard put his tentacly snake-like arms up in front of him and scream as well, manages to stand his ground. The Brood Guard that is standing directly to the side of you throws its arms up and cowers against the gorge wall, and you see the Brood Guard and the other 3 Purebloods fall to ash in the ground ahead of you. And the rest of you feel
this sudden, overwhelming pain erupt from the ground up through your souls, through your body, like something is sucking the life directly out of you, and you feel your veins protrude, your muscles contort and spasm, and those of you who failed your saves collapse to the ground on your knees, and those who saved manage to brace yourselves and hold yourselves up as this insidious power overcomes you, and this sound of the flames bursting through, it feels like your eardrums are about to burst. And Bab, there's a moment where fire is erupting from your fingertips and you can't stop it. You're trying to shake it off of your hands until finally it comes free and you're left standing there, and you look around in that moment and you see all of these individuals who saved you are near collapse. Their skin is gray, their eyes protruding, they're bleeding from their eye sockets and their nose and their lips. And you can even see areas, for those who failed their save, you can see where blood is seeping out of their pores. And you throw your hands up, and that's where we'll leave it until next week.
Did Regness save?
He was asleep, so...
No. Regness was definitely... let me...
Does that just automatically fail when you're asleep?
That should wake him up.
He's awake, but for some reason... Hold on just a second. Let me find him. Because it's not letting me roll on him. Right there. So... Roll. What the fuck? Oh, there we go. Regness does seem to save. He yells out in pain. I actually rolled a natural 20. Jesus. For Regness. Regness does save, but he is yelling in pain. He's writhing in his stretcher. And he yells. The last thing that you hear before we fade to dark is Regness yell, "Defiler! Defiler!"
Okay.
And when Craucus, when you reach into your pouch to feel what was it that shattered against your leg, you pull out an obsidian orb the size of an ostrich egg.
Interesting.
Shucks.
Okay. Well, wave good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you next week.